Hey guys, this is Stevo, your favorite co-host with the most of Horrors and News Entertainment. Now we're going to do something different. This is going to be my top 10 favorite list of horror video games in the horror genre. Let's start off with number 10, shall we? Let's go with Atari 2600 Halloween. Now basically what you see here is you score points by finding the child and taking them to the very last room on either side of the house. At some point in the game, Michael Myers would appear and try to kill you. He could also kill a child, which caused a lot of loss of one life, represented by the jack-o'-lanterns at the top of the screen. Sometimes a weapon appeared which you can be used against Michael to send him running away from you for a brief time. To actually be quite honest with you, the death scene is extremely silly, so whenever Michael Myers decapitates you, you will have a great time of your life looking at this scene, having a good laugh. Now let's go on with number 9, a great PC game I discovered called The Harvester.
Halt! Who goes there?
They tell me my name is Steve.
All right. This is Section 21. Keep your distance, son. I wouldn't want to have to blow your head off.
That makes 2 of us.
So you're the amnesiac, huh?
The gameplay is done by
Dodging ploy the way I see it.
through a point-and-click interface, just like the way it was in the old days during games like Maniac Mansion and, of course, Deja Vu. Players must visit various locations within the game's fictional town of Harvest, which can be done via an overhead map. By speaking to various townspeople and clicking on special hotspots, players can learn some information and collect items that progress the game's story and play. Harvester also features a fighting system where players can attack other characters by selecting a weapon and then clicking on the target. Both the target and the player's character will have limited amount of health available, allowing for either the player or the target to die. Players can choose to progress through the game by solving puzzles or by killing one of the non-playable fictional characters. Now, here's a fun fact about this game. How I actually discovered this game was through one of my favorite bands called Velvet Antichrist, the track called The Hand on Calling of the Dead. Yet to me this game was very graphic at its time, and I suggest to whoever those who have not played it, please give it a chance. Now let's go on with number 8, a great game entitled D. A very famous yet underrated video game that came out in 1995 on the PS1, Sega Saturn, and 3DO. D is basically an adventure game in which player controlled by main character Elle Harris, who must find out why her father has gone on a murderous rampage and is holding hostages in a hospital. The game uses pre-generated computer graphics and full motion video to tell its story. The player has 2 hours to solve a mystery of why her father went on this bloody massacre. The player manipulates the character from both a first-person and third-person perspectives. To give you my little review on this game scared the fuck out of me when I was a child. I played this game full blast in the dark, later on finding out what D really means. There was a sequel that came out shortly afterwards, but it wasn't quite as good as the first one that came out many years back in the year 1995 to find out Dracula lives. Another underrated video game, number 7 on Xbox, Stubbs the Zombie. In Stubbs the Zombie, The player plays as a zombie, and the primary goal is to kill humans and devour their brains. Naturally, eating brains gives us back a certain amount of health of lost to the player, as well as converting those to humans into zombies. Naturally, causing them to fight alongside the player. The player has options beating an enemy to death with melee strikes to transform into zombies. Stubbs the Zombie provides and prevents him from wielding any conventional weapons. Instead of wields a variety of imprisoned weaponry and combat techniques, most of which are done using specific body parts, explosives, and makeshift devices. I also like to add the soundtrack was very fun and excellent covers of the old 50s modern rock and roll days to the modern indie rock. Number 6. Clock Tower for PlayStation 1.
What's wrong?
Help! Someone is following me!
Some kind of weirdo?
Extremely most underrated video game ever played on the PS1. Now, I like to think of it as if the burning had something to do with inspiration onto this game. Jennifer Simpson recalls her memories of a terrifying clock tower murders, but something isn't right. People have started dying again and again. But who was responsible? Jennifer killed Scissorman, so who is his successor? A man with giant pair of scissors who wants you dead. I give this game thumbs up, many thumbs up, because not only the fact that back in the day it was very terrifying, and the jump scares to me were actually not bad, but the storyline itself for this video game was phenomenal. But I still think the burning has something to do with a little inspiration on this game. You be the judge of that, people, and you tell me how this game is.
Poor girl. Don't worry. I'll help you now.
It just keeps getting better and better. Number 5. Technos Deception for PS1. The player takes on the role of an unjustly executed man who pleads to the devil to spare his life at the moment of his demise. The devil, as referred to Satan, grants his request and gives him the command over the castle of the damned. Soon after taking control of the castle, many visitors soon find themselves drawn to the fortress. Some for power, some for salvation, and some for something as simple as shelter. As we see here in this video game, it's nothing but ghost and the paranormal. You think that was something? Prepare yourself for number 4. Arcade and TurboGrafx Splatterhouse. Splatterhouse is a side-scrolling beat-em-up video game in which player controls Rick, a parapsychology student who is trapped inside West Mansion. After his resurrection by Terror Mask, Rick makes his way through a mansion, fighting up hordes of creatures in a vain to attempt to save his girlfriend Jennifer from a grisly fate. Players of this game will also recognize a number of Western horror film influences such as Friday the 13th, Evil Dead Part 2, the list can go on and on and on. I consider this actually one of my favorite video games out there. Sadly, the arcade version is no longer existing, but if I ever get my hands on it, I will keep playing it and playing it and playing it and playing it and playing it till I turn into Rick myself with a tournament. If you have no idea what game I'm talking about, please download the ROM, but do not play the remastered version. It was not that great, but in my opinion, Splatterhouse is the greatest horror game out there. Getting close to the end, here is number 3 for PS1, Silent Hill. The objective of the player is to guide main protagonist and character Harry Mason through a monster-filled town as he searches for his lost daughter, Cheryl. Silent Hill's gameplay consists of combat, exploration, and puzzle solving. The game uses third-person view with the camera occasionally switching to other angles for dramatic effect in pre-scripted areas. This is a change from old survival horror games, which constantly shifted through the variety of camera angles. Because Silent Hill has no heads-up display, the player must consult a separate menu to check Harry's health. If a DualShock is used, a heartbeat rhythm can be felt signifying that the player is very low on health. Now mind you, the movies itself weren't that great, but the actual series itself for Silent Hill was phenomenal. And if you haven't played this game, may God have mercy on your soul. It is one scary ass game I've played over the years all my life playing horror games. Would I play it in the dark? Yes, I would. If you haven't played in the dark and full blast, then you have yet to have a good scare and a good shriek. That is called Silent Hill. Here's number 2 for PlayStation 2, Fatal Frame.
兄はとても優しい人でした。
Fatal Frame, or Project Zero, is a survival horror game set within an abandoned Japanese mansion, divided into 4 chapters and a prologue which act as levels and tutorial respectively. The player controls Miku and Natsuki for the majority of the game, with its opening features Miku's brother Mufuya as a player character. Each part of the mansion includes a map of its layout, and each is rendered in real time instead of using pre-rendered backgrounds. During navigation, the players guide the characters through multiple rooms, each with a semi-fixed camera perspective that changes depending on the character's position. Environments are relatively dark, with exploration being possible through the use of a flashlight. During exploration, various items can be found scattered throughout environments. Progress is saved at the same points in the mansion at the end of each chapter. I guess you could say this actually may have possibly inspired movies such as Ringu and The Grudge. And now to its finale, number 1 for Nintendo, Maniac Mansion. Okay, I know what you're saying. Ending it with a game that's not even scary? Well, for your information, when I first played this when I was a child, it frightened me a bit. Yes, because it was cheesy, but I loved it. Maniac Mansion is a graphic adventure game in which player uses a point-and-click interface to guide characters through a two-dimensional game world and to solve puzzles. 15 action commands, such as Walk to, Unlock, may be selected by the player from the menu on the menu screen. The player starts the game by choosing 2 out of 6 characters to accompany a protagonist, David Miller. Each character possesses unique abilities. For example, Sid and Razor can play their musical instruments while Bernard can repair appliances. The game may be completed with any combination of any characters, but since many puzzles are solvable only as certain characters, different paths must be taken based on the group's composition. Maniac Mansion features cutscenes, a word coin by Ron Gilbert that interrupt gameplay to an advanced story to inform the player about off-screen events. Yes, this game actually was great, and I still consider this game a great video game to play. Not in dark, but hey, why not just have a little fun. Made by one of my favorite people out there, Jellico, and of course Lucasfilms. And that was my top 10 list of horror video games that I played that I consider are great and scary. If you do not agree with my list, please comment below, give us some suggestions, and don't forget, we'll be doing more top 10 lists very soon with me and the crew as well. If you have not liked our page or subscribed to our channel, please do so. This is Stevo with Horror's Universe Entertainment, and like I always say, stay tuned to the darkness. Hey guys, it's Stevo. To all horror fiends out there and to retro video gamers out there, please be sure to subscribe and check out the Analog 8 Show. Every week they do killer episodes. You will not be disappointed. You want two guys fighting and bickering over old retro games? Hey, we're all still children in our hearts, right? So please be sure to check out and subscribe to the Analog 8 Show. Thank you guys.